Well, I'll give you my little rundown of what I know, but first I'd like to introduce you to my audience. First of all, you guys, here's his YouTube channel, which is Martin. How do I pronounce that last name?
Litka.
Litka? Liedka.
That was it.
Martin Liedka. This is a YouTube channel, 24,000 subscribers. I will post a link to his channel in the description, and you see up here at the top, Flat Earth British. Now, why is this significant? You know no, listen. So you know the video I put out that you saw and you contacted me.
Yeah.
If you go back to that video today, there are people in the comments section telling me I need to talk to Flat Earth British. So I made the connection. There are people saying, yo, you're the man who I should talk to.
Yeah.
So before we started, you asked me, sorry if I keep looking over there. I'm looking at the YouTube camera, and this is the one you're seeing me on.
Yeah.
You asked me, what do I know about this? Where am I at? So I'll give you a brief breakdown. I am not a flat earther. However, when reading the Book of Enoch from a flat earth perspective, I finally understood it. Now, here's where it gets really tricky. I've always been open to having flat earthers on my show because there's obviously a grand deception, and I don't know what it is. So I haven't ruled out flat earth. It's not been ruled out. It might be that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I clicked around your YouTube channel today, and I didn't watch them. I saw some videos talking about the serpent. Now, I don't know if you've caught my previous videos. So what I do is I go outside. I've built a night vision camera.
Cool.
Well, from a Cascade tube from a German tank, like real night vision, that I've hooked a camcorder onto it and watched the sky. Now, on 3 different occasions in the past year, we've got what looks like a rod with wings flying, like far. And I talked to Zen Garcia, who's a flat earther.
Zen. You know Zen, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
He came on the show, and he basically was like, that is, I can't remember, he called it the feathered serpent, is what he believes we caught. But it's so weird. I've been doing the night sky for years and years and years. And in the past 12 months, I've got 3 of these. You'll have to go to the channel and look. They look like,
I'll check that later. Yeah.
like flying serpents.
I didn't realize you've had words with Zen, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, we've done a couple shows together, me and Zen. And now so that's my little flat Earth experience. And then as far as the mud floods go, I've just had a lot of people messaging me, asking me, John, what do you think? You need to talk to some people about this. What's going on? And I casually, I saw some pictures from Russia or Germany that looked like old buildings had been covered with dirt, and they'd been excavated. That's as far as I got. And then I just, right before this call, there was something about the mud floods. Somebody sent me an email, is what it was, right before this call. Here, I'll read it to you. This is Mick Weeman, and he said, "Hi, John. A friend forwarded me your video. I would like to start off with this. I do not agree calling it the mud flood, because that conjures a flood of biblical proportions. That is not what we see." But excuse me if I'm wrong, Mick, but I'm guessing he's a mud flood guy. But that's kind of, that in my mind, when I thought of mud flood, I pictured the whole world getting covered with something.
Well, we don't exactly know the causes for the mud floods. There's a couple of schools of thought. Either it touches upon the serpent. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. Liquefaction of this place through some sort of, what you might want to call it, seismic activity, but a vibrational, a somatic wave through this place, which I think is a plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, concerning your last video and this NASA pushing the idea that CC or climate change is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Once you delve in right, into mud flood subjects, right? The starting point for us, okay, usually is the 1811 events, which kill, okay, climate change, 100%. What we think is happening is this. Like I say, it's a multi-spectrum subject. Okay, I'll explain mud floods in a minute. That's based on architectural anomalies.
Okay.
Of class, what they call Greco-Romano buildings. Okay, they're in every city. Okay, no matter where they are, it could be Australia, South Africa, South America, China, Hong Kong, even everywhere has these identical buildings. Okay.
That are below the modern buildings. You're saying identical, like they've built right on top of
examples, if I can share screen in a little while. So that is the basis for mud flood. I've had many. I've got actually PhD engineering architects from Germany contacting me. Okay, saying, look, there's no architectural sense as to why they would build the lower. What they call a basement, okay, which I say there's no basements on this place. Okay?
Yeah.
The lower levels of these city buildings, New York, London, my city, Cardiff, wherever, every city got them, okay. These buildings are down below street level.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two schools of thought. The mud flows, okay. Now these are actual real events. You could check them out on Google. They're ongoing now in Brazil. They're ongoing in Mexico, and there's been one recently in California. You can watch hillsides or even mud volcanoes. There's there's many mud volcanoes. There's one in the Philippines. There's one in even Romania. Okay, these are real scenarios. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're saying that this was more widespread. Now, this is like I said, it's a multi-spectrum subject. Okay, it includes Tartaria, the Phoenicians, resets, all for children, the introducing populations after resets, and our starting point is 1911 events. Now, you don't know about this. This is life-changing information. New Madrid, Missouri events. Now, to get back to your iceberg, okay, growing. Okay, NASA, right? Because I'm a flat earther. Listen, I don't have to buy their narrative. Okay, I can think for myself, so I'm not buying anything. Okay, so what I do in NASA, right, because they are, in my book, evil by nature, is they like to reverse everything, so I flip it around.
Yeah.
So they're saying that we're going into a climate change. Well, we know from decoding ancient texts, from it's encoded in all of our reality. We haven't missed anything. We've been doing this for years now. I have a team of really highly qualified translators for every single ancient dialect, and some really obscure Middle French, Middle Italian, Latin dialects we have translated to find out the alternative history. This is it.
Yeah.
This place is subject to events. Okay, and it's written about in every, like the one you just mentioned with Enoch, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Hindus, the Bible with Noah, the Chaldeans. It doesn't matter what culture, they all talk of this biblical flood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It takes out civilization. Okay. Now, these resets we think are a big total one that takes out civilization. We can see this. We can see the remnants of this civilization. Just look at Egypt. Just look at Mesopotamia or Sumeria. These remnants are there. Look at Melbourne. Okay. So what we think is going on, okay, is between these massive events, the massive resets, the smaller resets, okay, we think, okay, these are possibly introduced as in artificial, as in from the controllers. Okay. Now we think this happens at every 200 to 300 years. Okay, we think the last was in 1811. There was a biblical event called the New Missouri Fault event. Look into it. You know, the center of America lifted up something like 20 foot. The Mississippi River ran backwards. The whole of America was affected. As far north as Toronto, as far east as Boston. These cities shook and were ruined. Now, it turns out that the adult population, they used the cholera epidemic, the potato famine of Ireland, and the giant influenza epidemics, and a whole number, the bubonic plague, for killing all of these people people off. So you say to yourself, well, is there any evidence for these people, of these resets? Yeah, check under the Paris catacombs. There's 18.5 million skeletons, all placed out neatly and nicely. Start there, and you're going to find under most European cities, these people, and under churches as well, are there. So what we think is because all of the information is given to us by the controllers, okay, the history narrative is a biggie. In my case, the scientific or the heliocentric model, okay, and scientism in general, okay, which is highly flawed, okay, highly flawed. It is beyond stupidity what they're basing their reality. The whole of human race is going on theories.
Yeah.
You realise theories what they are. They're not facts. So this is what's happening, okay, with all of it. So we're thinking outside of the box, and we have made leaps and bounds. So, sorry, John.
I have a really great subscriber who always sends me information, and she always refers to her astrophysicist friend, and I love the emails, and I've used them on my show in the past. But this week, when she was talking to me about the mud floods and mentioning them to her astrophysicist friend, I thought about exactly the thing you're saying. Astrophysicist means theories. You know what I mean?
Right.
Theories.
Yeah, to me, anything out there, the cosmos, what they call.
Yeah.
Because it's so intangible, and so even if they were stars, which I don't think, so far away, it's nothing that we could ever experience in our direct reality. So why even bother? Do you think we'll ever get to an answer of what we don't know when we are, what we are, or who we are?
Yeah.
And all we want to do is just deal with dialectics, which are obviously laid down with clever people from social engineering.
Yeah.
This is what's going on with NASA, okay, with all of them. They lay down a narrative for the human peoples. Now, what we think is going on is this. We were in golden age, okay? We were living really well. I mean, we had free energy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had this water technology of energized water from fountains everywhere. Water meant everything. People were living so much longer. Health wasn't even an issue. Now, this was in the recent past, okay? There was a maritime nation. You may have heard of them, the Phoenicians. Well, they seem to have infiltrated society, and they're in control now because the world's marketing, the world's banking systems and everything is down to them. They've got their mark on every single civic building, okay? And we abide by maritime law. How would we abide by sea law, maritime law on land? Because the Phoenicians are the controllers. Now, what we think is going on after these resets, they introduce small one-room schoolrooms. They bring in literally trains of orphans, 30,000 at a time.
Yeah, I saw photos. I saw photos of the orphan trains in I believe Russia.
As well, and Australia. It's pitiful what happened to them as well, John. They went into a life of abuses and also.
It was basically slavery for children.
Off the radar. And you know what? They couldn't go to the establishment to complain to the police.
Because they were running it. Now, for people who don't know what we're referencing, supposedly after the last mud flood, there were portions of the earth with no one living, and to repopulate, they had these orphan trains where they took children from here and there and moved them all over the world to repopulate areas that had been wiped out by the mud flood. What do people think caused the mud flood?
Okay, well, I just decoded through a translating team of highly important priceless documents, which is a study of Phoenicians in America. Okay, so so people saying, oh, no, Christopher Columbus obviously wasn't the first. It was the Vikings, it was the Welsh, it was this, it was that. It was the Phoenicians. Okay, now there was a society in America, and it was up and running. Okay, way back. Okay, this is why you've got such a different dialect of English. You haven't evolved that dialect. Okay?
Yeah.
This has been there all along. Now, all of the narrative of Christopher Columbus and discovery, and all of it has been laid down by social engineering programs, and there's no reality in any of it. The real story is an infiltration of society taken out of a golden age. The architecture of the Tartarian peoples is everywhere, and then it gets added, it gets the plaques are wiped clean. The whole of society or civilization basically is revamped. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's been just basically eradicated off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
2 world wars. The bombing campaigns of the Second World War, okay, were nothing to do with military gains. They were an attack. You can have either 2 schools of thought here. They just wanted to kill innocent German people, okay, or they were ruining the architecture. So we'll go with that. They were taking out this architecture. So the generation coming don't work it out, which we have. There's still these buildings around, okay. So they've affected the buildings. They changed the style from a classic Greco-Romano feature with angels and cherubim to a Baroque, a Gothic revival sort of architecture where they stick on griffins, they stick on gargoyles, and there's an evil parasitical influence. Okay, so that's what we think's going on as well. Is there's a spiritual aspect to this with this mindset of these people who worship Baal and Moloch. You know, they are definitely the controllers. Okay? They meet every year in Bohemian Grove and worship this owl and Moloch, basically the Babylonian god, and it's them. You got the Statue of Liberty is a Phoenician god.
Yeah.
Okay, there she is, standing there, greeting everyone to the new Phoenician society that was a golden age, taken out in resets. Resets are still ongoing. Okay, there's still minor resets of populations, and they never ever make the news. You never know this is happening, but they're happening. Okay?
Yeah.
You have empty cities as well, ready for populations.
Where are you at spiritually or religiously, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just I'm curious.
I will be honest with you, blatantly honest with you. Okay, I think all religion is control over us. Having said that, okay, there is nothing I do in my mind where I don't think about the creator of God. Okay, highly spiritual. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I do think this is a spiritual war, the truthful war what we're in. Okay, I do feel that it's the dialectic of good and evil is a reality. I don't say devil and Jesus or anything like that. Okay, I'm saying that I believe, okay, that our psyche is not our friend. Okay, that psyche in your mind keeps telling us daft stuff all our lives. Do this, do that. It's like our enemy, and it's in our head, telling stupid stuff constantly. So if you analyse that, psychiatrists often do, why is the psyche not our friend? Then you can think to yourself, hang on a minute, is that actually external? Now, in Asian cultures, they call it the jinn, or archons, or genies, or demons, and they have 1,000 names for this hysteria, if you like, evil. If you're weak, you are doomed to this. Okay, it'll make you a junkie, an alco, it'll kill you, you'll have an agonizing death. If you're weak, that's what it'll do to you. If you realize it, recognize it, can't touch you. Your thoughts come clear and you're headed straight for the truth. You seem to be guided. No, I literally have groundbreaking stuff land in my lap every single day. Blows everyone's head off, okay? And I keep thinking that it's basically the creator leading me to this information, or the universe. You know, the universe is working in my favour because I'm true. You know, because I'm true to myself. I'm not being true to this subject. You know, there's a lot of doing this for ego, money, what have you. That's not what I'm doing. I want to use this as an experiment, John. Yeah. See if we can. I'd set up a think tank, okay, a trusted load of people. When YouTube is like really dodgy.
Yeah. So just to pick your brain a second.
Sure.
When you hear other flat earthers or people talk about the fallen angels, do you put the fallen angels in the category of the archons, demons?
I think about it all the time. Look, what are we? Where we seem to be souls locked in bodies. Now, we said the same for the fallen angels. They fell to the earthly realm, which is where we are, and they seem to be trapped or locked in a mortal frame. Is that what's going on? Are the people that are actually participants in reality and make changes, like your kind self and other people in this reality, are they the fallen angels? And there's another school of thought as well, Indigo children, okay? are we here to usher in a new age? To wake people up to really what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you said with climate change, I thought you must know about gematria. Christopher Columbus, CC. Climate change, CC is 33 in gematria.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, anything with CC in it.
Hey, when I first started my YouTube channel, people were running the name John ExArmy through gematria. They didn't come up with anything, and I didn't get it then. If my name would have equaled something, they would have been like, "Oh, the controllers put him."
Yeah. Sure, if you got like street.
Yeah. So listen, here's why I brought up the fallen angels, because now you're gonna be like, John, don't even go here. Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, they recently did that big podcast. Now, he said something that everybody ignored, but was huge to me. He said, and he did his crazy thing to throw everybody off the trail. Joe, they're not talking to aliens. They're interdimensional beings that they're in control with. When I heard that, I thought that's the truth.
I commented. I was in Jesse Spott's chat. He was basically simulcasting it, and we were just chatting about it as it was happening. I was like, yeah, why is he chucking the interdimensionals out there? Yeah,
like I believe that. It's not aliens. They are something interdimensional.
Look, brother, I'm a flat earther, right?
Yeah.
The same token, I have a lot of what you could call UFO activity around me. I've seen a lot,
Yeah.
Me and my wife, who just passed away last year, we witnessed a UFO the size of a stadium, and I could have thrown a stone at it.
Wow.
Colours on it that I had no frame of reference for. The new colours. Right? We never spoke about it for a month. We walked to the shops one morning and she just came out with it. She said, "You do remember that on the back, don't you?" Like, what, the UFO? I was like, yeah. So, yeah, why didn't you mention it? It seems that anybody has like a really big experience with these. They never ever mention the day after. They just let it slide. It's really weird. It's like it lays there. It's happened. You don't want to talk about it. Showed up at my 8th birthday party. I thought they were, it was like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I thought they did it for me. And many, many experiences in that nature. So I always thought, like, I never seen Grays. Okay, so I was thinking, could that be just them with advanced tech? But what I really think is going on, okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you, again, I think there's more land, okay? I think this place is lateral. Okay,
yeah.
I think it's infinitely big.
Yeah, someone else I speak with, he talks about where they came from, the controllers. They came from somewhere else, the other side of the ice wall. They're not from here.
It's out there. Their Mars is out there. They're Jupiter, they're Venuses. They could be just continents, and they're out there.
Yeah.
Okay? I found an excellent Mercator map. It was 400-year-old. I posted it this week. And the whole of Terra del Fuego, on the southern tip of South America, which is land of fire, okay? Mm-hmm. It's all the Antarctica continent. So, hang on, it's ice. There's fire. It's actually red, hot, and green. So it's a green place, and it's full of cities, and it's full of rivers. And this is in 1635.
Yeah.
So why is Mercator's maps showing lands? So what I think is this either been inundated in events since. They're old world maps, okay, since the reset.
Yeah.
I think there are more lands. Now, I'm not saying like Pangaea or Gatha or all these, or Thula, they land in the north. That could be there. Right. They say there's the Hyperborean, okay, which is 4 continents in the centre of what we think is Atlantic, okay? The geographical North Pole, okay?
Yeah.
Is what we think. It's where all magnets, compasses point to. There's something north, magnetic.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, I've spent maybe best part 100 hours of my life in series that I did, Great Secrets, on my channel. It's something like 10 parts. I'm on part 10 now.
Yeah.
Explaining the Colosseum. Explaining the double torus. Now, the torus, double torus, is itself round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I've looked into the torus. Also, let me pick your brain. What does the phrase mean? The holy of holy astral jet in the north. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Quasi-Luminous. I interviewed him on my channel back to before he disappeared.
Yeah.
I interviewed him on my channel. It was basically, I wanted on my channel because he was frightening people in my community and he was doing blood over intent. And I didn't really understand it, but it sounded sinister. It sounded a bit like
definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So I pulled him on my channel. Okay, I let him just open his mouth and then dive off camera to smoke something quick. Come back. Just on. Trick.
Yeah.
So method, and basically he was just off the radar. He was the worst interview I've ever had in my life. I call him Quasi-Lunibus.
Yeah.
The Astrojet, he's actually on something.
Yeah,
look, if he'd have just left the insanity out and went with the model, okay, he was there. Okay, the green Astrojet comes out with what we call the North Pole hole. Okay, it's the two opposing. The Taurus is folding in and coming out at the same time simultaneously. Okay, now what is laser light? What laser light is? It's electrified light, and that's all that's coming out of the North Pole hole. That's what you see in the Aurora Borealis. It's laser light. It's the North Pole. It's coming out the North Pole.
Yeah.
Now there are electromagnetic changes they're telling us about, right? They're saying that the geographical North Pole is hurdling this narrative now in history towards Russia, and it hasn't done it. It's been fixed over northern Canada, you say, since records began. But now it's displaced and it's hurrying towards Russia. So they're letting you think that there's something happening with what they call geomagnetics, but there's no proof. Because they've only been 12 kilometers down, so they couldn't possibly know if there's an iron core at all, and they can matter, obviously, like they do with everything else. In my mind, they've been 12 kilometers up, 12 kilometers down, exactly what the Bible says. They've been 12 kilometers down because that's the deepest coal deep shaft mine in Russia went. 12 kilometers. They couldn't get further down. The electromagnetics down there, the dielectric inertia plane, which is 12 kilometers below our feet, too much for the machine. Same up there. They call it the Van Allen belt.
Yeah.
It's the Taurus. It's just too dense. They can't go beyond it. They're not going up there. Just can't.
Yeah. So
it's more.
I've pulled up right now the Taurus on screen so that people will understand what we were talking about. Now, just to clarify, do you think the flat Earth plane is in a Taurus or no? What?
Yeah, double Taurus.
So the double Taurus,
like an apple.
Yeah.
It comes down below us in exactly the same nature. And what they call gravity, okay, as you know, is only a theory.
Yeah.
What a lot of flat earthers will do, if you see videos, they'll say, "Oh, it's all density and buoyancy." I'm afraid that's not the case, because you can't explain like a bumblebee, which has, static little charge things in its hairs on its wings, which cause maglev.
Yeah.
Also with the scarab beetle, like the guy on YouTube that had buckets of scarab beetle wings to try and make himself levitate.
Yeah.
No.
I thought about trying that.
Yeah, man, you need a lot of scarab beetles.
Yeah.
But this place is Tesla new. Tesla new is electromagnetic by nature. Okay. So what we find is when the Taurus comes back in, okay, well, what they experience is downward force or gravity, what they call, okay, is magnetic acceleration, okay, and it cancels out on the inertia plane, which we're on, or just below us. This is why a mountain is still. If the magnetic acceleration wasn't inert, this would not be still anymore.
Yeah.
Which leads me to where I'm going.
So basically our space, I think this photo I pulled up has it circled. It's right in the center where the Taurus meets, the top and the bottom, right? That would be our space, right?
Look, people can use that. They have done as well. There's a couple of people who no longer, one actually I can think of, who's no longer a flat earther actually, weirdly. He used that as, that could be a sweet spot. Mm-hmm. That could be space. That could be somewhere. And look, it could be a sweet spot. I don't know, okay? It does give rise to a sweet spot.
Yeah.
But what I can say is nothing is orbiting. Because what orbiting is things falling away, like the ISS, which is apparently falling away from Earth, okay, 17,500 miles an hour. Are we 40 times the speed of bullets? No. Okay. While they're all in their cushy slippers and their lovely pajamas, not a care in the world that they could die in an instant in the most hostile environment you could ever imagine, which is a vacuum of space, which exists with no barrier between a pressure system, which we're breathing out, which is nuts because it's just killing like against their science, which is the second law of thermodynamics. You need the pressure, you need a container to hold a pressure system. Okay, so they'll say gravity holds it all down here, or the Coriolis force. They'll invent anything. Try and find out if there's any reality within your everyday experience with your own experiments, and you find out they're not telling the truth at all.
Yeah.
No, man. We haven't done this like half-heartedly, basically, you know. Don't know what it is.
Yeah, and
I don't know what it is for a second. I do know that it's electromagnetic by nature, and the whole of antiquity is encoded double torus model, including the cross of Jesus Christ. Okay?
Yeah.
It's the double torus model, the Celtic cross. It's just everywhere. Is this model?
Have you heard that? So there's a guy on YouTube. I'll try to link the video. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Him and some other YouTubers put a nice long hour thing together. What they did is they took all their videos and like made them into one, and it tells a story about what's the word? Not electricity coming from above. Not ectoplasm. That's from Ghostbusters. Plasma. That there's a plasma storm, and that the window opens at like the winter solstice.
You know about this. So
yeah,
I'd like you said in your message, it's at the back of your mind. So when you're talking about this, you know, these changes that are noticeable. You know, I've been here 50 years, right? When I was a child, climate was zero like it is now. There's 2 seasons. There's a ice cold winter, hardly any snow, and then there's a boiling hot summer. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too much of a genius to work out that it's definitely something afoot.
Yeah.
So there's electromagnetic changes, and they've happened before. I could give you 100 books, studies of how it affects the human being.
Yeah. In
1700s and 1600s, EM, electromagnetics were far more potent in this place. Things like electrical storms, plasma discharge events, thunderbolts. Now, they were far more frequent in the early 1900s than they are now. Okay, my grandmother said this. My mother, literally witnessed this. A thunderbolt came through the door, seemingly conscious, moves out of the way of my grandmother, goes out of the back door, rolls down the street, jumps in the canal, and explodes. Now, this is and when I talked about that, I must have had about 20 emails that say exactly the same story. I went on a caravan holiday, bounced around the caravan. So the EM is a lot more powerful. Now, if they talk about with their globes, the tilts and everything, they talk about a pole they're flipped, don't they?
Well, actually, what this guy was saying. Now, he didn't say if he was a flat earther or not, or if he did. No, he was a flat earther. He was a flat earther. Really? So basically, he was somehow the flat earth model he was talking about did have what would it be called? Polarity. But what he was saying is the dome, they're trying to get out. He said if you watch when Russia launches, when Elon Musk launches, that they do it on certain dates. He thinks they're trying to get out through.
Yeah, there's loads. It's in the main narrative because of Mark Sargent's videos where he postulated that after Admiral Byrd went up down there after the war and apparently found the edge of the dome, and then they close off Antarctica to the human race. Okay,
yeah.
We shouldn't go in a race. We're not in a race. The human peoples. Okay, literally, this place is just an enigma. How is it all of these countries can just coexist together happily on this so-called continent? No wars. These are people that actually were at war. You had Russia and America, at the same time as the apparent Cold War is raging, mind. So then nobody can stake a claim, but it has to be kept pristine for scientific research. Check out the scientific research finds. They're just ridiculous. Just like carbon monoxide from a million years ago in an ice core, what? That's going to help us. So it's just a joke. So you can't go down there. There's same restrictions that come in as you go past the 60th latitude line south. You're not even allowed to eat outdoors, smoke a cigarette outdoors, because of the pristine nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pull up a film from the 1950s where they state they had a nuclear generator in the ice there. It's just double dialectics. Now, I myself, I don't believe in nuclear weapons. Okay, I've been mad into quantum mechanics all my life. Okay, and I really am not going there anymore. I believe in the atom. I don't believe in the subatomic particle. Anything done on a planet, anything indistinguishable that we can ever prove, I don't go with. So, for that token, I studied the implosion technique and all the video evidence, and Oppenheimer being a player in designing the plot, everything else. So I thought, well, no, this hasn't happened. But what we discovered is there is technology. There is technologies that can damage, and it is what some people call oscillating technology, which sounds very inventive one, but technology that can cause basically a somatic wave or a pulse through this place, I mean the whole place, which could cause or does cause
anything, earthquakes, volcanoes, floods.
Liquefaction happens, cities sink below them. Okay, so it's either, with these mud-flood buildings and this prior civilization, it is either sunk in liquefaction, okay, and then they've just made good, put stairs further up, fix the windows, etc. Okay, put the roofs back on. After every reset, they do the same. And they basically, after these survivor times, they seem to, the first thing they ever do is they need to reverse engineer everything. Okay, now, the big thing with us in this field is a thing called Antiquitech.
Antiquitech?
Antiquitech is a science called technosmia, and it's proved. I've got an entire series of libraries by a Jesuit from the 1600s called Kirchstein's Library, and he's one of the last people in this place to have any real knowledge. Okay, we all have this in this field. So basically, he knows about the EM, he knows about the real place we're in, and what it's really about. The controllers completely know that this place resets naturally. But like I said, I think that they do participate. The literature does, sort of suggest this. Now, the serpent, right? Now, what we found, the serpent in all cultures, I mean, the Indian classics, the Bhagavad Gita, the serpent there, or Mesoamerica, the Aztecs, the serpent in the death cult of Quetzalcoatl, they're all Phoenician. And they're all a death cult. Well, they're all the same cult at exactly the same time worldwide.
Yeah.
This was carnage, this takeover. It was a very, very bad time for humanity. It was so bad. Plagues and everything else. Look, you can trace the residue of what happened in the history books. They'll lay it down. They won't tell you the truth. They'll say pestilence, flea on a rat, killed a third of Europe, or wiped out. Okay? They'll lay down populations. Okay, we'll do a population count. Instantly. Makes no sense. 7.5 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
So when are we exactly? Where's the starting point? How is it that all of the cities on Earth, right, all sort of arrive at 1800, all get built, and then all populated within a 100-year period? Any city. Pick an example. It'll go from San Francisco in something like 1800. It was something like 6,500 people. 50 years later, it's up to 500,000. Until the events of San Francisco, which is another aspect, is the American city fires. Name one, and you will find that it burned down. Okay, Boston. Okay, 9/11, great city fire. Chicago, one of the greatest city fires. The ashes from Chicago fell on your Azores.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, it was a huge forest fire, and it engulfed most of the Great Lakes. This thing was total. Okay, they don't tell you about it in history books, but you can dig into it. Starting point is 1811, and it finishes and culminates in Tambora of 1816. There's the Year Without Summer. Have you heard of this?
No.
Year Without Summer?
No.
If you just Google it now, it'll come up. It'll explain it all. The sun, it was just a winter that lasted a year, but it's not. It's a couple of years. All crops failed playing white.
Wow.
If there were billions died, the remainders and the orphan children, and they repopulated the entire society by about 1900. They took away the free energy, which I could show you 1,000 images of, by around between 1895 and 1900 in time for Edison, JP Morgan's man, and the narrative of, well, where are we going to put the meters?
Yeah.
They've got to charge us.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it as well, is everything was running free. Our water, we didn't have water bills. That was just out there, beautiful, energized water through a specific technology, believe it or not.
So, listen, basically, right now you're bending my mind. You're bending my...
Churches are not churches. No, they're not churches. Churches are devices.
With the steeple, from the steeple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The windows are somatic patterns. Each one is set at a different frequency. They're like blowholes.
Yeah.
Organs inside are giving off what? A sound, the vibration.
Yeah.
Now, if you know about vibrational techniques, like hearing 432 frequencies is really good for you, good for your health.
Yeah.
I practice this all the time. Everything is sound.
And then there's destructive frequencies also.
You know it exactly.
Yeah.
They, wipe your mind with this stuff. Okay. Sound is everything. Okay. So with this frequency technology, okay, the church organs, okay, is called technasmy. They ramped it up to such a scale, okay, that it came through these blowholes. Now, it wasn't just churches. You can see them in the roofs of, American department stores, the Vanderbilt mansions.
Mm-hmm.
They all had technasmy device. What did it do? Well, it sent out this wave into the environment so that plants grew bigger, people lived longer, everything was just much, much better. This narrative of bring out the king, he's not covered, bring out your dead, or he must be the king, he's not covered in crap narrative that they have laid down in the movies.
Yeah.
Lights, stabby, you can't penetrate armor with anything. And what's really going on is chainmail. If you Google that now, chainmail is sold now as EM protection.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I posted...
So what are they doing? They're fighting with electromagnetic weapons, which is talked about right through antiquity. Okay, Thunderbolt of Zeus. Yeah, Thor's hammer.
I posted. Let me tell you something. I posted. So there's these things called hex suits. All right. I'm gonna put the link in the description. So if anybody watching this buys a hex suit, I make a little bit of commission, a couple bucks. So I posted a link to hex suits, and what they are is deer hunters use them, and it masks the electrical signals that your body is giving off, so that the deer doesn't detect you. Well, they sell them on Amazon now. I'm assuming now it may not be perfect protection, but if it blocks the frequencies coming out of your body, I'm betting it'll block the frequencies coming in.
See them? They're organites.
Organite. Yeah. I've looked into those. But let me back up for 1 second. You're not just bending reality by flat Earth. You're saying that not only is this a plane, but it's all a lie. They've stuck buildings and they've stuck people, and this is your life and this is your country, and it's just all
in ways of a fan. Okay, and
the Truman Show.
Like the Truman Show is beautiful. Or if you read Animal Farm by George Orwell's a beautiful. Thing. Also, the book 1984. That is the Social Engineering's Handbook. Even in that book, right, we're at war, a perpetual war, which is Airstrip 1, which is Britain, okay, a perpetual war with Asiana. Where do you think that is? That's Tartaria. Then you bring a Mongol, which is part of the Tartarian Empire, which is the biggest empire that ever existed, not Britain, Britannia, Britannia is a Phoenician.
Let me back up so people can catch up, including me. Okay, so the Tartarian Empire, the greatest empire ever, wiped out by mud floods, and they've hidden that history so that no one even knows about it and talks about it. But just in a little bit of search, you can verify that the Tartarian Empire existed, that it was real. You can.
You know, I've got 100 books from antiquity. It's more than you know. Look,
so
there's a guy called.
So, but before we get into it, so.
I'm so excited.
Do you think, I got two questions here. Do you think that the mud flood that wiped out the Tartarian Empire was caused by the controllers, and do you think there's going to be another one?
Yeah, I do think that one was as well. They look, if you study this city fires, it's not only that, it's earthquake events, right? The biggest ports and the richest ports on earth are always taken out. San Francisco and Port Royal in Jamaica, right? This was the richest port on earth, okay? These were massive big structures on this little sand spit outside of Kingston, wiped off the face of the earth by an anomalous event. Lisbon, the biggest Phoenician centre, okay? It was like the richest place ever, apparently. Wiped out twice by two anomalous apparent tsunamis and earthquakes. The one tsunami came from inland.
Yeah.
You know,
wow.
So it's just every single major... these resets are still ongoing, and this story is still ongoing. You don't have to dig far. We found leaked. You can't really leak these leaked CIA documents, but the fact still is that they put it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And this document states that, you know, we must at all costs hide Tartaria, what they were, who they were, okay? Now, these Phoenicians, they're into one another, they're a bit more, they don't really breed with peoples. They keep themselves, these bloodline, okay? So, you know, they have infiltrated in blood way, but they try not to, okay? This is especially with the royal family, etc. You see what happens when somebody tries to balance the bloodline there.
Yeah.
They don't last too long, do they? So this takeover is the most sinister thing I've ever seen in my life. It's really, really just blowing everyone's mind to digs in. You know, these technosmia devices, these cathedrals, they got everyone thinking they were built in the 14th century by monks, okay? They can't replicate any of it.
Yeah.
They can't. They haven't got this today. They haven't got the technology. They haven't got the know-how. And it's not just the cathedrals. It's the art. It's the paintings. You know, the paintings of Michelangelo apparently attributed to him are millions of microns thin. You know, they're either using technology we haven't got yet, or this guy's supposed to be mixing this painted ochre into a clay pot.
Yeah.
It's kind of done. There's statues out there. One in Begonia. There's a fisherman with a net over it. It's so intricate. I've got some statues with ladies with eyelashes of stone, and veils carved out of one bit of marble. Now they're either 3D printed, okay, or there's something else going on, another technology, okay.
Yeah.
These things we can't replicate in the architecture. We can't replicate. Everything today is made for a temporary purpose. It's made from breeze block. It's made from corrugated iron. Or it is a glass outer shell, and it is something that can rust inside, which is a steel frame.
Yeah.
All of them. So when a reset does eventually arrive, this civilization
will all turn to dust.
They're not making the same mistake as they did the last time.
Oh wow, that is deep.
Resets back. You can trace.
That's so deep, because I don't know how long you've followed my channel, but I'm in contact.
I never knew about you before. I've just missed you. I don't know how, but I never knew. I wish I had.
I grabbed an article that was written on a website talking about a great reset is about to occur, and I made a video on it, and the author saw my video and reached out to me, who happens to be a historian who also happens to believe that this is a plane.
Historians, Van Belasovsky said exactly the same. Space had plasma discharge events in his research.
Yeah. So what's funny is him and I have been talking about how, first of all, he thought the reset was going to be before 2019. He thought it was going to be at the end of 2018, and it wasn't.
Set dates up there. Other people in my field set dates like.
So we were wrong in that aspect, but he still believes that the reset is about to occur. So what you're saying ties into that so well that they've had us
shop up for the season. Brexit's, do you know tomorrow? I'm in Britain, right?
Yeah.
We got Brexit tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
There's two scenarios. We could have civil war here tomorrow. They're on the politicians got bunkers and they've hired an army.
Yeah.
It's like 14 million people, right?
So that if they get overthrown, they can come back out afterwards and say, "Hey, we're still here. You didn't take everybody out."
Yeah. I had an email this morning saying that these new EU legislations with YouTube, that I will not be able to present any more images unless I'm the copyright owner.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, what is so mind-blowing is you're right. With the way we've built our civilization, after the next cataclysm,
nothing will be left.
The controllers didn't want us to be left. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all been planned.
There's bunkers ready. I think they bug out. I think they weather it. There's evidence the skull and crossbones is a selecting process for the the Ivy League places. Okay, for who not all the elites will make it through, but they keep a slave class to populate the cities again. If you look at these great exposition cities, okay, if you look at Chicago Great Expositions, and they're just the greatest civilization, your mind is just numb with the beauty of this architecture. Who the hell is putting this here? It's just, America was there already. You've got a way beautiful, older civilization, and it's not all about cowboys and Indians. Okay, America is skyscrapers in 1850s. Okay, but yeah, the movies will show you the Wild West, 1850s. It's all cowboys and Indians, mud huts in a sleepy town with tumbleweeds, and there's not a bloody brick building inside. Every single city and town in America is very well established at that time, but they won't put it in the movies ever. Even the Revolutionary time, these buildings, these colonial buildings, are there. They're old. And the evidence is these, like if you look at the White House bottom bit, or Ohio State Building, or any of your state buildings in America, Austin, that's a really good one. All mud flooded tributations, lower levels, windows, lower levels, but they're Greco-Roman temples, and you can't build these like that anymore.
Yeah.
We surmise the bottom bit of the White House, the Capitol building in Washington, was already there, and they put the dome on 1865 Lincoln during the American Civil War, when they're apparently, having Napoleonic-sized battles.
Yeah.
1,000 aside, or even 250,000 aside, like at Antietam, etc., or Gettysburg, and all of these tens of thousands of people dying en masse. Okay. At the same time, okay, they're building a dome on the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Now, what we say is this was theatre. That's why they call it the theatre of war. And the reconstruction of the South is in the historical narrative. What they're saying is exactly right. They were reconstructing the South after the events. Okay. They cleaned this place up pretty well by, we've got a series of photographs to just blow your mind off. There's a really narrow window of time, right? And you can see St. Petersburg, the city is supposed to be like 750,000 people. It's not so, no smoke from chimneys, no birds, no nothing. These are ghost cities who are waiting a population, because the last one is not there.
So what do you think about these Chinese ghost cities? I know you've looked into them. Same thing?
Look, we can't find out anything from that country, okay? The internet is censored, as you know, so how do we know that they were always popular? We can't know that. Or are they waiting for... Look, why are the Chinese building ghost cities in Gambia?
Yeah.
In Africa?
Yeah.
Skyscrapers, as far as the eye can see, in Gambia. So maybe they're for, apparently, the reset / Agenda 21 sort of agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Are they cities for survivor classes?
Yeah.
To come after everything's been reset, because it's in a pretty remote part of Africa is where they put in these cities.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself, why are they bugging out?
Yeah. Just to pick your brain real quick, did you know that 45 million Chinese were killed by Mao's Great Leap Forward?
Cultural Revolution, another reset.
Yeah.
And that's just an understatement.
45 million from 1958 to 1962. 45 million people in China were exterminated in the name of liberty. We're going to be free. And they murdered everybody.
With Mao and Stalin's, apparently, 24 to 50 million when he declared war on the peasants of the countryside. Is this narrative?
Yeah.
This is what we're telling you.
Over and over and over.
Even the Second World War, right, and all of these, what they call the Holocaust and all of these rounding up the gypsies, they started with the gypsies. They rounded up maybe, these people didn't choose to be displaced and detached from civilization and culture. They were forced that way by this takeover, okay? So they just I want to live. They don't want anything from the West or the Phoenicians. So they were the first to be rounded up, and they were the first to be got rid of. So this thing's ongoing.
Yeah.
And even today, this PSYOP, which they say is ISIS, it's just not. It's all of that. Okay, even you can just the narrative anyway. These war, just
fear and war, sacrifice.
I open the window with birds are tweeting every day, and I'm not saying people ain't getting hurt, and I'm not saying people don't get killed. People do. There's always collateral damage. They don't care. They don't care if 1 million die. They just don't. The people who rule this place, they're not even psychopathic. There's not even a word for how nuts they are. Okay, the way they conduct themselves, how can it be that people like the bottom of society, people who are in care and stuff like that, are just privy to being abused, and they can't go into no one because the establishment is covering it up. The newspaper, the television in Britain, the BBC, exactly the same nature. And the establishment. So the establishment's feeding on the people.
Yeah.
Poisoning them with the foods. Have you noticed that the population is just gone whoosh from the fast foods that were around when I was a child? We all had organic when I was a child, and then suddenly in the mid-70s it was you've got to pay 3 times much for your food now because we've just added preservatives. They're new.
Yeah.
And then we had about maybe 10-15 years of preservatives, and then oh no, we're bringing back organic now the way it was before, but you got to pay more for that now.
Yeah.
I just see what happened.
Yeah.
It's just as well. It's just like a constant bombardment on our senses. It really, really is. And if people are watching the telly, they are absolutely doomed. They'll have no quality of life. They won't ever live.
Yeah.
They will die completely.
Yeah, they're lost.
It's about X Factor.
So here's a scary thought. Here's where I'm at with flat Earth.
Go on.
If we're living on a plane and the Earth is flat, expect, because everybody watching knows, expect the next reset to happen any moment.
Well, look, brother, right?
I feel like if
I wondered why it was right. You're bang on, you are right.
Yeah,
I love the way your mind works.
Yeah.
Why? They're closing up shop for the winter. Seems like, right? And then this, I've been 4 years into this flat Earth, right? I've been trying to debunk it. I've been trying, but nothing's happened. Nothing, right? The more they cover up, the more they censor, the more they make documentaries trying to ridicule us. That don't take too much thinking to read between the lines to why would they do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're getting really big in it, isn't it? And I don't buy anything they're giving me. So, in my direct experience and from my testing of curvature shots or the absence of curvature shots, etc., I'm going to go with, there's a double torus, which antiquity definitely dictates, and then it's a flat plane, and no, I can't exactly say if there's I say there's an electromagnetic barrier, which they call Van Allen belt. They're not getting beyond it. Other people will say that they're trying to nuclear blast their way out of the dome, If there is anything but there, then it's another plateau of existence, exactly like all culture. Do you know what? Every single culture in our reality says this plane is flat, The Holy Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedi, all of them, even the I Ching, everything says it's flat. Only ones that say that we're on a spinning ball is Western philosophy introduced by the Phoenicians who worship Baal and feed children to Moloch. Who are we going to go with it? Heliocentrism, apparently spinning around a star, which they worship, Helios, Now, we're supposed to be circling that 365 days, We must be really, really moving speeds, okay, at 63,000 miles an hour, and we're managing to orbit it in that small period of time. But remember, the sun is moving at a colossal speed as well, all in different directions, all at the same time, dragging all of them moons, dragging all of it. Apparently, eventually accumulates up to apparently 500,000 around the galactic core. Now, I don't feel like I'm moving, so I'm going to go with that. I don't buy anything that they give me, and I don't have to. I don't have to. Not if there's other ideas for it and other ways of thinking. There's just no reason to go with that. And if anyone can't work out by looking at pixels when they're looking at these images, why do you think they haven't been to the moon until yesterday? Yeah, because the flat earthers are just like really getting some, traction. It's like must be 100 billion by now. I just can't imagine there not being. I've had the Telegraph newspaper onto me again today. Well, these people are just really bugging me. On the radio tomorrow, they really, really want to know about this.
Yeah.
Because of the Logan Paul video that I returned.
Yeah.
Because of the Behind the Curve movie on Netflix, which is like everyone's watching, so they're like, okay, this is set up to ridicule. Why would the establishment do that? Why would the establishment, these are like, rational people, seemingly, although they did pick, some poor examples to, sort of make us look bad. They do that all the time. So, this is definitely like they're closing up shop, and changes are underway, and I feel that people in their primal knowledge, I believe that the species in or have been species in amnesia, and I think this awakening is total. I think it's across the plane. I think all of the people who are true, good people, awaken. I think that the bad people are going to become more bad. I think the good people are going to become really good. And I think there will be a crossroads. I think the crossroads is right here, right now. Now is the time for us all, for the whole of reality, for the way this is going to pan out. Now, I personally want to break the loop. Okay, this loop that we seem to be stuck in, the serpent in its tail loop. Okay, which is the serpent is a cymatic wave, a waveform that travels through this plane. That is a serpent. It's telling you from all of antiquity what it is.
Okay. I'm just now getting you. So you're saying the serpent is a frequency?
For waveform, yes.
Is the serpent 5G?
Yes. You can't have it. Kill us all.
Yeah.
The boil us from inside if they want to explode us. Look, they tried fitting some of that in maybe in London, and a guy streaked away, spontaneously combusted. They didn't put it in the newspaper, but a lot of information comes to be specifically back. This really happens. And this technology, 5G, and even if they ran here, is very, very dangerous. It's what's called fascist technology. We think it's what they've been using all the way along in the past. Mm-hmm. We feel that the damage that we see of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, or Dresden, or San Francisco, or Chicago is not synonymous with Firestorm, because everything is falling in its footprint exactly the same way as the towers did.
Yeah.
Just in its footprint, okay? It's like, they just got a fleet of bulldozers to clear the streets for everybody. It's supposed to be hurricane force winds. What is in any debris in the streets? Everything falls in its footprint exactly like California fires now.
Yeah.
Now, it's not beyond the bounds of imagination to think they're using energy weapons, because we know the technology exists. I got a microwave oven in my kitchen.
Yeah.
I use on the way. So this exists. Yeah. I know it's scary stuff, brother.
So, who do you think the Tartarians were in relation to the controllers?
Oh, such a good question. Such a good question.
Do you think they were of the controllers, or?
Seems that we're the occupants of this place. If you try to find where these controllers, because they don't, even though they've got they're human-like, they're just not us. Okay, the people in the 1700s. Okay, only that short time ago of the alchemical era, and a little bit before the 1600s, right? They ain't us. Their thinking is way past us. Okay, this thinking is working on the real fundamentals.
Yeah, they're looking down at the board like this.
You got it.
And we're like, Where are we at? What? Where are we?
So we've got, like the Bob Marley says, brainwashed education to make us the fools, and they've done such a good job. This must be the dumbest reset in history. Okay, but they got the television now. They literally removed the ratings from the whole of Britain and America outside of garden walls, which they said were for, to put back into steelworks for wars, the war effort. None of them found their way to any steelworks. The London ones were dumped in the Thames. During World War II, they'd done thousands of tons of wrought iron in the Thames. Why do you think they removed it? Because that wrought iron blocks signals for telly that's going to arrive to the population as soon as this war's out of the way in 1950, just in time for the Queen's coronation. They got everything worked out well in advance,
Yeah.
And to look forward now, I think what I said about inherently as people, know in the back of our minds what really is going on. It's hard to come to terms with. But I think this awakening, people are just going, yeah.
And
what's being discovered.
And listen, out of all my subscribers, it doesn't matter what group I look at. I can look at the flat earthers, I can look at the Christians, I can look at the alien believers, I can look at the truthers, and they all know. I can look at the Nibiru guys. Everybody knows.
My subscription base, nearly all of them people, and I've got 25% of my subs are globe believers. I've got a problem with it.
And listen,
I'm not banging on about it either. All my videos.
Even though everybody has this completely different belief, I'm at the head of getting info from all of them, and every single group knows time's up. It doesn't matter which group I reach into of my base. They all know. Everybody feels time is up. Something,
I just get this feeling that if as a people together, if we could just do one great thing as a people together and just join forces.
That's powerful.
Basically, because the power is with the people. It always have been.
Yeah.
They don't want us to know that.
And
we are so powerful. We can change this place. One man can change it up. Okay.
I was reading this book recently, and it spoke about how war age males hold all the power, and that's why they're the most confused, the most do you see what I'm saying? Males who are in I don't know what's war age, 18 to 50 are who are suppressed because they hold all the power. They're confused. They need to TV and drugs and music and work and got to pay the bills, got to take care of them kids. You know what I mean?
Like Bob Marley said, the John Lennon song, Working Class Heroes, as soon as you're born, they make you feel small by giving you no time instead of it all. And then he says, when you're in school, you're just completely mentally ill. And most people are. That's that institution of high school and stuff they put everyone through. You ever think back, you had some good times with your mates and all that, but what they were trying to do.
I think back to prison and realize I had some good times with my mates, and after being indoctrinated through school and then later going on to prison, guess what? It's the same program almost.
I'll tell you something else as well about that program. I do this, right? I think it's encoded in the Bible, right, by Samson, that we have got more with our hair. Now, the first thing they do when they get you in the army is what? Cut your hair? Crew cut?
Yep.
Yeah. To jail? What?
Yep.
Concentration camp? Prisons? What?
Yep. Programming.
So what it does is I think that they do it because I think that it weakens us somehow. I think that the hair follicles actually act as some sort of antenna. There's been fakes like the Rosicrucians out there in the feudal movement that actually believed that they used to grow their hair right down their backs because they believed that it's an antenna.
Yeah.
So, if all of that information that I get, right, is not actually stored in my brain and it's actually exterior, like in your Akashic record or whatever, and I'm just a receiver or an antenna for information, that could actually be a reality. It is morphic in the morphic field, all the information.
Yeah. I've looked into that, and to take that a step further, I've laid in prison and looked up at the LED lighting and the electricity running through the brick building, and I've wondered, is this blocking my prayers also? They've shaved my head. They've put me under this electricity. Are my prayers even getting to where I think they should be going?
So why blocking that light? That light they put in Pacific buildings, and they reinvented it. That they took away all of these. Like I use copper filament lights, okay, deliberately. I've got an energy saver up there, right, but that's just for this. But I use an old-fashioned light right here. Right? They literally react with your brain. They're just seething. I get like a really bad migraine if I'm like 20 minutes in these lights. I cannot stand them in offices and stuff. It's just
now. I'm a veteran, so I get blood work annually. You know what I mean? And I'm completely healthy. But I've been sitting now for a couple years under 3 huge bright LED lights, and I have I look sick on video.
Don't look that bad. Get one of these. Make one. I made one of these, and I plug it into my USB, and I keep it next to me. It's an ultraviolet light. And I put it next to my water as well.
What's it do? Well, I know it.
It'll purify your water for one.
Yeah, I know that.
So make it really nice. And basically, I might just keep it pure, and I just with my orgonite and my loads of magnets around me.
Yeah.
I pack magnets in my pocket. I know my body rhythms. I haven't been ill in decades. I don't get a runny nose. I don't get nothing. Because I know it's all placed there. As soon as you walk in the doctors and it says, you had flu, they just predictably programmed you into getting it, okay?
Yeah.
It's all working on the placebo effect.
Yeah.
You know, the placebo effect is a massive thing, and the advertisers, the way it's all run, they know how that's working. Obey.
They got me good because they're giving me the military check every month, but I better keep going to my yearly physicals. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna give you the money you need to survive, but you're gonna keep coming to the doctor once a year and getting blood tests. You see what I'm saying? They're here. You can take it, but it. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be wired to us for the rest of your days.
If you want the money, you're gonna be stuck right beside us.
Wow. Listen, nobody's outside the loop. I would love to break the loop. I dream of a golden age where people can just let their kids run free without worrying about anything at all. And this, this banking system and fiat currency and everything else, and them elites are all gone. And this place just a fair, anybody wants to do, fair, not capitalism, but a fair crack for everyone.
Yeah.
Look, this place has got such promise, and everyone can see that it's just a bloody mess. They're playing man against man, bloody bonds between people that are not real. The reality is we're just people.
And I'll tell you, what's messed up is that I think I'll save that for another podcast, actually. I won't mention it. I was going to mention how horrible it is that people's life experience is getting ended prematurely by these evil controllers. Basically there's universal injustice going on, that people's trip is being cut short by these satanic people that want to drop.
They'll get you, if they get you in hospital, they'll get rid of you as quick as they can. Last year I lost my wife and my mother.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Right. As soon as they got her in hospital, right, they refused to treat her. She got the hospital bug. They didn't give her antibiotics. She was dead within a week.
Wow.
2 months later, my mother, who had advanced dementia, right, I had to go in every single day because basically the Filipino nurses were stealing her food. They weren't feeding her. I had to take food in a flask. This is in the 21st century in an NHS hospital.
Wow.
Food to feed my mother, where they were trying to kill her off. In the end, they pulled me in an office, the death group, deciding what they're going to do with my mother. But she was in a mess mentally. And basically, they did exactly the same. She got an infection from the hospital. They didn't give her antibiotics. She died. So
I'm sorry.
They killed 2 of my family, by their eugenics program or their ethnic cleansing program or their whatever it is program, where they decided that these people are no longer mature, they will have to go. So I'm like, got this attitude. Well, then, that's why I'm just risking up, to expose them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm taking risks, opening my mouth on my channel.
Me too.
I know you are, brother. I know you are. And it's
this video right here. This video right here will be censored. You know what I mean? They will put viewing restrictions on it. They will demonetize it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And we have not said anything wrong. We haven't said anything hateful. We haven't said anything that should
mention false flags or nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that I'm gonna upload this video and feel like a criminal for it. We've done nothing wrong. I'm trying to figure this thing out.
I just know who the real criminals are, and I just feel like don't think about myself. Actually, I just think about people and the lost people out there.
Yeah.
When I'm like, there is a place. Well, there's people who do understand, and there are people that aren't going to tell you lies. Okay, we'll look at it together, and we'll see what they told us is true, and that's what I've been doing. It's a 4-year experiment to try and find out, and what we found out is just
mind-blowing.
It's blown my head to pieces. Everybody who's been on the ride has had their head blown to pieces. How could it be that we were just that golden, that near back?
Yeah.
And we have all of that going. The remnants are there. The mud flood, or the events that took out Rome, or that Greco-Roman culture that is in Rome, which is the Phoenicians, and they tell you that the Colosseum, dig this, right, John?
Yeah.
Tell you the Colosseum, right, killed 500,000 people in Circus Maximus, right, where they're killing Christians to lions, and the rest is gladiatorial events over, years.
Yeah.
Tiberius and Vespasian's reign, and then with Libya. Okay, we find out, that these things are water tanks, facile devices. They're running highly energized water through the streets, and it can be proved. It can be proved because all the superstructure is there under it, and it comes up through. Basically, they haven't got electric pumps. So if you're in a 6-foot tower block, it doesn't take a hydraulics engineer to work out. If you haven't got an electric pump, you can't get that water out.
Yeah.
So the water towers, such as the Leaning Tower at Pisa and all of these Italian towers, are actually water towers, and their narrative is that we kill. You don't want to go off down to the corner and watch people getting eaten by lions. That's just nuts.
Yeah.
You put it away if you want that. So they're trying to tell you that's what humanity is, and they're trying to tell us that we're this way and we're that way.
Is that we're evil and primal and
we're not. We're symbiotic. We help one another. This is how we've managed all of these times before, guys, and they've just taken us away from the family unit. Nobody sits around the table anymore talking to their kids. How'd your day go? Because they're on their mobile phone. You've got to call them for their tea on your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So the family unit's gone. No more food has been the main emphasis of the day. That dinner. Now it's off to McDonald's before it shuts. They've taken us so far away. How many skills have they got? I know you've got skills, John, because you're survivors like myself, like Prepper. How many boys today can sew? My son can. Right?
Yeah.
He can sew, knit, fish, snare, all of these skills.
If everything shuts down right now, I bet there's only going to be, I'm in a city right now, I bet there's only going to be less than 1,000 people who can even filter their water. Do you see what I'm saying? I
know what I'm saying.
The first thing we're doing is grabbing bags and running as far to the country as we can go.
I got it all. I'm like you. I got my bug out bag if I got to get out in a hurry. But I got all I got solar panels for alternative energy. If the power went down, I could run all of this.
Yeah.
I charged it out of the back garden into a lead battery.
Right. 6 feet that way, I've built an indoor greenhouse. Temperature controlled, humidity controlled, airflow controlled. So right now I'm germinating golden ball carrot seeds. I've picked some of the hardest non-GMO vegetables to grow, and I'm starting with the hardest ones first. And I'm into it. I'm growing my own. We're gonna eat the most.
I spent my last job 6 years in a garden centre.
Oh wow.
Yeah, B&Q Garden Centre was my last job before I was on YouTube, and that was my thing. What I used to do every day was tell people how to grow. I was the plant expert, and just trying to turn people on to good living. But everyone was coming up and wanting to cover their gardens over with membrane chippings. And it's like, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Grass. Why don't you grow some vegetables and herbs and have a nice diet of fresh herbs in your spaghetti bolognese? Would you like that? Yeah, the little eyes would like that.
That's great.
Salesman, but I was trying to get people away from covering their gardens.
Yeah.
Everyone is nowadays, paving it over.
Well, listen, I gotta go. I gotta go eat dinner with the family. It's only 5:20 here. Everybody, I'm gonna post the link to Martin's channel here in the description of this video. Everybody go over there, blow him up, show him some love. He's got a lot of information to put out. We will have to, man.
1,000 videos plus.
we'll have to do this again, and what we'll do is.
Yeah, John, please come in. Have a chat.
We'll take the we'll take the feedback from this video.
Yeah, sure.
And whatever I see the most questions about, we can kind of hone in on that mud flood area.
Next time I had to say, so blowing your head off, because like I said, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
I think I covered it all, not confused it all. But you were, like I said, I knew what you were thinking, but you was like, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
You've been watching the cycles, and I see your channel, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother, you're right on the money with this. You really are.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. It was great talking to you. I'm going to get this video up tonight, and we'll stay in touch. Yep. All right. Have a good night, man. John ExArmy signing out from the belly of the beast.